Alright everybody, I hope here I'm live right now. Am I not? I am or not? Let's check this thing out first of all and turn on the chats and all. Done. Definitely I'm live. Okay, so let's get started. I was just simply working on this, then got a call in between, and because of that thing, it could not be done. So let's get it done right now. So what I was saying, just simply saying that. So what am I doing here? Port number 80. This is already done. I was just trying to do something. I forgot what was I trying to do. Then. What replica set? Okay, the replica set I have created. So cat rs.ml. So this is the replica set that I have, and inside that I'm just simply saying that this is the template that I want to run. The label should be this, the container should be this running inside that, and ultimately I want 3 replicas in all. This time it's time to apply that. So docker, and this replica is gonna be responsible for running the pods. Okay, so kubelet, not kubelet, actually kubectl. So kubectl. So kubectl get pods. So I have this pod running, so let me even stop this particular pod. So kubectl delete pod, and I'm gonna be deleting nginx pod here. It's delete get pods. Okay, I don't have any pods as such. Cube and kind, even I can say docker process status. I have these 3 nodes running right now in my docker. Apart from this particular thing, kind get a cluster. This way I'm just simply gonna be getting the cluster. This is the local cluster that I have, and if I wanna get all the nodes that I have, so kubectl get nodes, and it will be just simply giving me all the nodes. So this is how we are gonna be going ahead. What is the next thing that I can do? Even there is one more command that's gonna be kubectl get all, and it's gonna be returning you everything. So here you are gonna be getting everything. Gonna be getting everything in the sense you have your quite a lot of stuff. Sorry, suffering from sneeze butters. So sorry, nothing useful for now. Later I will be talking about this. I was just simply looking for some stuff, but nothing seems to be familiar, so there's no use having a look at this. And what I'll do, I'll just simply clear the terminal. And what is the next thing? The next thing is that starting this rs replica set. So I have already configured this replica set over here. I don't have it here. This is the one file. So I already have the replica set over here. Once I have the replica set, what will I be doing? I will just simply apply it. So kubelet kubectl apply, and I want to apply rs, and this is gonna be the file name rs.ml, just like this. Let's simply run this. So replica set app replica set.apps nginx replica set is created right now. If you just try to get a kubectl get a rs, so you will be getting the replica set. So ultimately nginx replica set, this is the name. This got created. 3 replicas you wanted, 3 of them have been created. So ultimately you wanted 3 replicas, all those 3 replicas have been created. Okay, that's great. What is the next thing? The next thing is that getting the pods. So kubectl get pods, and these are the 3 pods that I have. So I have nginx this replica set, this is the pod name. So you will have your replica set name, and then that will be appended to the some extra gibberish, and that would be the name of that. So ultimately I have 3 containers running, and inside those 3 containers I have so if you actually check them, so kubectl logs of this. So let me check the log of this one. So ultimately things are gonna be like this. Kubectl get logs, so I'm gonna be getting the log of this. That simply means it is running, as simple as that. So yeah, we have gone through it. We know how to create a replica set. We know what this replica set actually does. We even know how to apply it. We can even directly create the replica set over here, so we will even be trying to do that. And that is it. This is how the things go on. How about creating a new replica set with this particular name? So let me copy this thing. Kubectl create deployment nginx. Ultimately, if you want to create a new replica set by the command line, you can even do that. Okay, haven't I copied that? Let me simply paste it here. Just like this. So what this command does, this command just simply says that kubectl create, I'm gonna be creating deployment, that's great, the name of this. Okay, I'm gonna be creating a deployment over here. I'm not creating a cube like what I'm not creating a replica set here. That's fine. Let's get rid of this. Later I will run this whenever I'm creating the deployment stuff. So this particular part is also done. Not only that, if I wanted, I could have run one more image here inside this. So suppose I'm gonna be running Mongo. Image is gonna be Mongo @latest, just like this. And lastly, I will have ports here. Ports are gonna be container port, and that will be 27017. Okay, so what I have specified is because inside the pod I can run many things. So I'm just simply saying that this is the pod template, and inside that I will be running the container, and I want to run two containers. I want to run MongoDB and I want to run the Nginx as well. Let's see how it's gonna be going on. But before that, I will have to delete the previous replica set. So cube cutl get replica set stands for a, and if I want to delete this, so cube cutl delete rs, and I want to delete this particular replica set. Let me copy and paste here. If I run this, replica set has been deleted. That simply means all the pods have been deleted. So cube cutl get rs. So right now I don't have any replica set. Cube cutl get pods. I don't have any pods. Cube cutl get nodes. I do have 3 nodes here. That's interesting. This much we've done. And right now what I want 3 replica sets. What have I changed over here? That I want the 3 replicas, but inside each pod there should be 2 containers running. Okay, this is what I wanted. This is what I want, and right now I'm just gonna be applying the configuration that I have. So cube cutl apply. What is the file name? File name is rs.ml. So let's simply run this. So ultimately this has been created. Replica set apps nginx replica set created. So if I just say cube cutl get rs replica sets, so this is the one that has been created. Even I can get the whole information. Getting the whole information in the sense cube cutl get all stands for a. So this way I'm gonna be getting it all here. And just a minute, let me make it bigger. So once I end the command, so what I'm getting here inside this, I'm getting this replica set that has been created right now. So it is just simply telling me. So this is what that got created right now, and I'm getting the info here. What else? Okay, let me clear the terminal from here. And once I have this, if I try to get the pod, so cube cutl get pods, just like this. If I run this, so if you see, we have 2 by 2. That simply means I have this pod running. That's amazing. Inside this pod there are 2 containers running, and both of them are running right now. So if I just simply describe it, so get cube cutl describe. I'm gonna be describing one of the pod here. Suppose this is gonna be the one. Control CV. If I run this, so if I just scroll here at the top, so first of all, name is this app nginx. This is the label that is already set. And apart from this particular thing, you have containers info over here. So inside the containers, what is the thing? First of all, you have nginx container over here that is running, nginx image running, and inside the containers you also have MongoDB running. So ultimately you have both the things running. And if you actually have a look over here inside the messages, so first of all nginx got created, pulled and got created, then MongoDB got pulled, and MongoDB container started running. So ultimately 2 containers are running inside the same pod. So this is also possible. We can even do this. Another thing is that you can just simply get the logs. So cube cutl get logs, and this way you can get the logs of this logs. So this way you are getting the logs, but by default you only get the logs of what? By default you get the logs of nginx. So defaulted container nginx out of the box, out of nginx and mongo. So there are 2 containers that are running, nginx and mongo, and you are getting the logs of nginx here. If you want to specify that, okay, I want to get the logs of mongo, so you can just specify it like this. Container, C stand for container over here. If you run this, you are going to be getting the logs of MongoDB. If you want to get the logs of nginx, you will be getting the logs of nginx, and this is how you can just simply get the things done. Alrighty, this much we have done. So let's simply go through it. And as for this thing, deployment, how I put it here? Okay, sorry for that. This should be somewhere here. Alrighty, I'm gonna be talking about that command as well. So this much we have done. It's pretty simple here. I mean, I'm even like, it's so not so easy, but if you actually understand the basic things, it's gonna be easy to understand this stuff. Alrighty, we have created our replica set over here, and once we created the replica set, we have even applied it. As per replica set, it needs 3 pods. So as for the replica set, it needs 3 pods over here. I have just simply have it for the common purpose and all. Then if you want to apply it, kubectl rs something like this. If you want to get the replica set, so kubectl get replica set, or kubectl get replica set proper name. If you want to get the pods, kubectl get pods. If you want to delete a pod, so delete pod nginx. This way you can just simply delete the pod. Pod will automatically be generated. And if you want to add a new, so kubectl run nginx pod image with that particular label, so it will automatically delete this. And then kubectl delete, you can just simply delete the replica set, and then delete pods all, if you want to delete all the pods. Let's simply talk about them one by one. So right now what is happening, kubectl get rs. So I have this replica set, kubectl get pods. I have these 3 pods running, and inside all those three pods, 2 containers are running. Okay, now if I want to delete one replica pod from here, what will happen? Because replica set is responsible for running these three containers. So if you yourself forcefully delete a container a pod from here, replica set will recreate a new pod automatically. So let's see whether replica set is doing that or not. So kubectl delete, I want to delete a pod. And what is the pod? Pod ending with a 27. Suppose I want to delete this, control C, control V. Let's do this, and this pod is deleted. Kubectl get pods. Okay, it happened quite quick. So if you actually have a look here, so the earlier I had this one, and this one has been deleted right now. Let me make it really quick because it took a lot of time for writing the commands and all. So I'm gonna be deleting this ending with a q at the end. So this is the one that I'm gonna be deleting. Let me paste it here and run, and then k get pods. Now earlier I had that q ending with q. Right now new one got created. Container is creating. So new container is being created right now. I wrote the command really quick so that I'm gonna be able to see the result. Nothing else. Alrighty, k stands for kubectl here. It's also done. What is the next thing? Ultimately over here, your rs replica set is able to, as soon as you deleted a pod from here, replica set recreated another container, another pod, mainly because replica set needs 3 pods anyhow. So it needs 3 replicas because you have configured it over here. So replica set will keep checking whether there are 3 replicas or not. If the number decreases, it will increase them, and if the number increases for some reason, it will decrease that too. So ultimately if I try to create a new pod, so np kubectl run nginx app for nginx pod. This is the pod that I'm trying to create, and what else? Image is gonna be nginx, and let me add the labels here. Labels are gonna be what? Labels are gonna be app nginx, because as I'm specifying the same label over here, so ultimately kubectl will see, okay, this has the same label, that simply means it belongs to me, but I already have 3, so I will not allow it to be created. This is how it's gonna be going on, and the port number is gonna be 80. Let's run it. Let me correct this, kubectl, just like this, run it. What happened? It created, but will I be able to see k get pods? No, I got it, and then there is a error. Why there's there's an error? Mainly because it was already there, nginx, and if I just change the label here, let me change the label, nginx probably 1, and if I run this, pods already exists, so let me change the name as well here, pod 1, and if I run this, created k get pods, and right now here it's being created. So earlier when I created with the same label, it throws the error. This was the error. Now I change the name and as well as the label, so this is getting created right now. So this is how it just simply goes. So earlier what happened? Crash loop back off. Why? Why is it happening? not able to create this, mainly because replica set is not able to recognize this, and it is just simply crashing that for some reason. I mean, this could be this. Forget about this. Let me change the label completely. From here I'm gonna be having this much, and pod 2 just like this. Let's simply run this. Okay, pods, this is getting created. Let's see what's gonna be happening now. So kpod 2 is running now, that's fine. So ultimately that's not the problem from the replica side, so it is running well. So in the first one I got the error for some reason, and I have to just simply figure that thing out. So image labels environment production, this is gonna be the label, just like this. Let's simply run this. Already exists. Let me change the name from here, and this has been created. kubectl get pods. So third one, right? This got created, and I'm getting the error here. Crash back to off. Why? So ultimately what is happening, that if you don't give it any label, that is fine, but if once you give it the label, it's gonna be crashing for some reason. Yeah, why is this happening? Don't know. So labels is gonna be environment production. If I give it the label, it just simply crashes. It is mainly because replica set that I'm running, most probably because of this. Because right now let me stop the replica set as well. So kubectl get rs rs only. So this is the replica set that I have. Kubectl delete rs, and this is the replica set that I will be deleting from here. Ultimately all the pods will automatically be deleted. So this is deleted. Get k get pods. K stands for kubectl only. So all the ones that was created by replica set, they have been removed, and the remaining ones are here. So let me delete all these ones forcefully. So k delete. How am I gonna be deleting them forcefully? K delete pods all force, right? K delete pods all forcefully. All of them are gonna be deleted, and k get pods. So right now I don't have any pods, and if I try to start a pod just like this with this particular label, will it be created? Nginx pod created. K stands for kubelet, right? I have this alias here, so don't get confused. So error, I'm still getting this. So ultimately there is a problem with the label that I'm specifying here. So how do we specify the label here? I already have a command, app nginx. So if I go with this, that already exists. So let me do one thing. K delete pods all forcefully. Let's run this. K get pod. I'm not gonna be writing kubectl over and over. I'm tired of writing that. So this started, and this time, what was the problem with the earlier one? Here. I wasn't specifying double hyphen here. That was the problem. Okay, this is gonna be created. Okay, that's the problem. Let me make it like this. Ultimately it is also created. K get pods. So ultimately I have two pods running right now. It is working well. K delete pods all of them are gonna be deleted. This should be double hyphens all. So this way all of them are gonna be deleted. K get pods. Right now I don't have any pod. K get rs. Right now I don't have any replica set. Right now I'm gonna be applying the replica set configuration that I had. So this is the configuration that I have for that particular replica set. So K apply. K stands for kubelet again, I'm saying. So either you write kubelet over here or you write K. Both of them are same. Not kubelet, actually kubectl. So kubectl and apply f and rs.ml. Run this. So K get rs, replica set has been created. Again, RSC stands for replica set, so replica set. You can write this as well, you will be getting the same result. So replica set has been created. Right now, okay, get pods. These are the pods that I have. They have the label. What is the label of the pods? The label of the pod is app nginx, right? So if I try to get another email, so okay, run nginx app, and image is gonna be nginx, and labels. So labels are gonna be here, app and nginx, just like this. So this is the label that I'm specifying knowingly over here, and because I'm specifying this label, so this particular pod will automatically be terminated, because replica set will think, okay, this has the same label, that simply means this belongs to me, but I already have 3 of the pods running, so this simply means this 4th one should not be running, because my capacity is only 3. I mean, my configuration, as per my configuration and configuration, I should create only 3. Let's simply run this. It has been created, k get pods. Right now, if you actually have a look, I still have the 3 previous ones running. The new one is not here, just because of that name. If I make it app nginx 1, then it is gonna be created. So k get pods. Okay, get pods, I'm getting it right now here. Okay, just because the configuration I was just simply this label only I was facing, like the res replica set was not allowing me to just simply create one more, because the limit for the replica set was 3 only. So this is how it just simply goes. So this much we've done. What is the next thing? The replica set, if something goes over the limit, simply terminates them. If the number of pods goes less than the limit, it simply creates the new pods and all. So this particular thing we have done, and ultimately when it, let's come back to the notes, and over here we have talked about this. Great. And now we have even talked about everything. We know how to delete it, we know how to delete all the pods, we know how to create the image, create a pod using the command line and with the proper label, and we know how to get the things done here. Like, we know almost everything. We even know how to delete a replica set, we know how to delete a pod, we know how to delete a replica set. So all these things are done. Lastly, we have deployment. Again, I have already talked about all these things, exactly why we need the deployment here. The simple reason is that you create the deployment. Deployment creates, deployment is responsible for creating the replica set. Replica sets are responsible for creating the pods, and lastly, pods are responsible for running the containers and all. So this is the overall flow, and this flow actually works in the production and all. So first of all, we created the only pod, right? So what we did for the first time, initially we just created the pod, that is it. We created the pod manually, then we manifest.ml file, and then pod got created. Then we just created replica set, and replica set was responsible for creating the pod. Lastly, we are going to be creating the deployment, and inside deployment we are going to be specifying everything, exactly what kind of replica set I want and how many pods that replica set should be running and all. Ultimately everything is going to be configured, and this is how things are going to be going on. Having said that, we have already talked about all these things in detail, so this time the main focus is going to be just on the configuration section. So what will I be doing? Coming back to this one, I already have this configuration here. I'm going to be just simply copying this configuration, and I'm going to be pasting it. I will explain exactly what it does and all, but overall it does simple. So vi and deployment.ml, just like this. Let's simply paste over here, and what it does, these are the things that we have in here. First of all, we have API version, so ultimately we gonna create the deployment, so the kind is deployment over here. Then we have the name of the deployment. Okay, this is the nginx deployment is gonna be the name. What is gonna be the specification? It is just gonna be like the replica set, because what deployment does, deployment mainly creates the replica sets, and it is just like replica set only. It's like a higher level manager, nothing else. So replica set is responsible for creating the pods, deployment is responsible for creating the replica set, that's it. So it will create the replica set, so ultimately the name of the replica set will be based on this nginx deployment, so that will automatically be created. Inside that I want 3 replicas, so replica set will be created, but I want my replica set to create 3 replicas, ultimately 3 pods, so 3 pods will be created. Then this is the selector. You already know what is the job of the selector. Replica set will be responsible for finding the right pods based on this particular selector. We have the template metadata. Here we are just simply setting that we are setting labels, and lastly we have the containers. Inside the container, ultimately pod will be created with this particular label, that's great, but there should be some image running inside the container, right? So I'm gonna be running nginx over here. Similarly, I can have one more here. One more can be MongoDB. I can run any number of containers inside the pod. Okay, so this is how it just simply goes. Let me just simply save it. Pretty simple, it's not difficult. I hope you feel the same way. If you don't, you have to just simply learn the stuff. Believe me, once you start explaining the stuff, things get easy. Okay, so by the way, what do we have to do? First of all, let's check the kubectl. So k get rs. So this is the kubectl that I have. Let me just simply delete this. So k delete rs, this is the name. So I'm gonna be just simply not kubectl, actually replica set. So I'm gonna be deleting this replica set from here. Once replica set is deleted, all the pods are gonna be deleted related to that particular replica set. So k get pods, k get rs. I don't have that. K get pods. I have this particular pod. This wasn't related to that replica set. I created it manually. So let me delete this as well. So k delete pod nginx app. So I'm gonna be deleting this. K get pods, I have none. K get rs, I have none. K get nodes, I have 3. Control pane, worker and worker, 2 workers are here. Okay, this is the time to just simply create a deployment. That again, the flow is always gonna be the same. Deployment I'm gonna be creating. It will create the replica set. Replica set will create the pods, and it will just keep going on and on. Okay, let's simply do that. So kubectl. Either write kubectl or write k, both the things are fine in my terminal because I have the alias over here. So k apply, a file name is gonna be deployment.ml, run it, and ultimately new deployment has been created. So if I say k get a deployment, so this is the deployment that I created here. That's great. We have the deployment, and inside the deployment we need 3 replica sets, right? So all the 3 are ready. So ultimately there should be 3 replicas actually, and all of the three of them are just simply working fine. This is just the that particular stuff. So 3 by 3, as I have mentioned the replicas over here. So that's the one, like, okay, I needed 3 and 3 of them, 3 by 3, all of them are just simply ready. Let's check the replicas. So k get rs. So this is the replica I have, and inside the replica I had 3 value, right? Ultimately deployment created this replica. So this was the deployment related result. This is the replica set related result. So this replica was created by what? Nginx development. So if you actually have a look over here, so Nginx deployment is the name of the deployment, and then Nginx deployment plus some extra thing, right? Some numbers and all. So that is the name of the replica set. So this is how so few numbers are just appended at the end, and name of the replica set is created. I needed 3 pods, 3 replicas, and 3 are ready, desired over 3. 3 are the current ones and 3 of them are running. That's great. And lastly, what I can do, I can check the number of the pods. K get pods. There are 3 pods, and those pods have like containers in them. And this is how we just simply go ahead, and that's it. This is it. So ultimately you create deployment created replica set, pod, and 1 or more container. Now if you just delete any replica set, suppose you want to if you want to delete this particular pod, so k delete pod, this particular ended with x at the end. So let me paste it here. A new one will be created automatically. So if you just simply delete this, k get pod, a new one is created. So earlier it was a dp whatever dqphx. Right now you have this one. So this way it automatically gets created. If you try to increase the number, if the number is more than 3, it will downscale to 3. If the number is less than 3, it will upscale to 3. So a replica set, ultimately your deployment into a deployment that is responsible for creating replica set. Replica set will make sure that the desired capacity should always be 3. If it is less than, it will create. If it is greater than, it will just simply downscale. So this is how the things are actually managed. That's it. So coming back to this, so we have talked about this as well. Get deployment, you will know, get all the deployments. Get rs for all the replica sets. Get pods for all the pods. If you want to, this is just for applying the deployment. We have gone through it. You can even roll out in the sense, suppose you change something in the deployment. Okay, we will talk about this. That's gonna be very interesting stuff. And apart from this particular thing, kubectl scaled deployment Nginx replicas 1, you can just simply change the number of replicas directly from the terminal, and this way you can just simply get all of them. You can even delete the replicas. These 2 things I'm gonna be talking about. Don't worry about this. And get get a delete deployment. This is how you can just simply delete the deployment from here, and that is it. You can even run 2 containers here. So I'm just simply running the 2 containers. you can create the deployment directly from the terminal, and these are the commands that we have to keep in mind. So kubectl apply deployment get pods, these things are easy peasy and yeah, understandable. So ultimately we have gone through everything. What is this that we have just left some of the things, these two things. So first of all, let's talk about this one, kubectl scale deployment nginx deployment replicas 1. It just simply makes sure that what it is saying, kubectl scale deployment, you are scaling the deployment, that's okay. Nginx deployment is just nothing but the name of the deployment that you have. Replicas 1, it is setting the value of the replica. Okay, over here what you had, over here you had the number of replica 3 by default. So if you actually come here, so the value of the replica is set to 3, and here you are just simply setting it to 1. So if you just run this command, the value will be set to 1. That simply means you will have only one pod, as simple as that. What about this one, kubectl rollout on deployment nginx, it will be rolling out the version. So suppose you made some changes in the deployment, so what will happen, as soon as changes are made in the deployment, so it will create a new replica set, and once the new replica set is created, replica set will start creating the pod. As those pods are created, then it will check whether those pods are actually running or not, and if there is some error, there is some issue, so what will happen, this replica set will be terminated. It will not be allowed to create new pods, because of course something is wrong with this particular version. So the previous versions, they will just simply keep running. So when you run kubectl rollout undo deployment nginx to revision 1, so ultimately what it does, if you want to go to the previous version, at that time you have to just simply run this. So what exactly happens, that you make some change. I mean there are two cases actually here. So you made some changes in the deployment, so what will happen, deployment will create a replica set. Once the replica set is actually created, the replica set will start creating the pods, as simple as that. And if there is some issues in the pods and all, so at the end of the day, this will be just simply cancelled. Okay, and if everything goes right, then okay, you don't really need to worry about it. And then there is this command. What is the command? This is the one that I'm talking about. So it just undoes your changes. So what happened? You changed something in the deployment, and because of that thing, new replica set got created, and pods are even running well. Now you don't want to, suppose earlier it was running version 1, then you just made some changes in the configuration in the images, and right now it is running version 2, that's great. And right now you want to just simply roll back to the previous version, so ultimately right now it is running version 2, is running, and everything related to version 1 has been stopped. Right now you want to roll back to the previous version, so you can just simply run this particular command. Come on, where is that? Kubectl rollout undo deployment, and I am gonna be going to the version 1 and all, so this is simply gonna be done. I mean that's it, and this way everything gets done. This particular command you can run, kubelet create deployment, it will be creating deployment. Nginx deployment is gonna be the name is gonna be nginx, pod is gonna be 80, replicas are gonna be 3. So this is how, let me even run this directly over here, but the name cannot be same. Let me name it differently. Nginx deployment 1. Once it is done, so if you say k get deployment, so you are getting 2 deployments over here, and all of them are running 3 by 3. And if I just try to get the RS, okay, get RS, so you have 2 RS here. One of them belongs to the deployment 1 here, and one of them belongs to the first deployment. This deployment 1 was just created right now. K get pods. If you try to get the pods, what will happen? You have many pods. These 3 are just created right now by deployment 1. These 3 were created earlier. So this is how it just simply goes on. And right now you can just simply delete the for deployment as well. So k delete. And if you want to delete the deployment, you need the proper name. How will you get the proper name? So you have to write a command kubectl get all. Just write this command. This way you will get the proper names of the deployment that you have created. So these are the names. This is the name of the first one, this is the name of the second one. Copy the second, copied, and then write a command kubectl delete, and I wanna delete this one. Let's simply paste it here. It is going to be deleted. Similarly, copy the name of the first one. I'm gonna be deleting them one by one. So this is done, and let's copy the name of the first one as well. Let's simply click delete, paste it here, delete that. Now if we try to get k get deployment, k stands for kubelet, kubectl, not kubelet. I'm saying that. So deployment. So right now you don't have any deployment. That simply means you don't have any replica sets. So k get rs, you don't have any replica sets. That simply means you don't have any pods. So k get pods, you don't have any pods. you definitely have the nodes. So these are the nodes that you have: local control plane, worker, and worker 2. You can even delete them. So kind delete. I want to delete what? I want to delete the cluster. So kind delete cluster. And what is the name of the cluster? The name of the cluster is local. By the way, this should be local here. And once this is done, so all the clusters are gonna be deleted. Okay, get clusters. Sorry, kind get clusters. Kind get and cluster. So ultimately there are no clusters found, and the job is done. That simply means even you can't run kubelet right now, because kubectl, you can only run kubectl when there are clusters. As there are no clusters, you can't run kubectl. So kubectl get if you write nodes here, you will get the error. As simple as that. So this is how the things go on, and we have talked about everything. To summarize this stuff, okay, first of all, we saw how you can create the cluster kind. Okay, we have talked about this thing. Let me just make it bigger. So using the kind, how you can create the clusters. We know how we came to know how we can create the clusters and all. Then even using the configuration, how you can create the cluster. We talked about this, and then these are the commands that we used. We even talked about them, how they are used and all. Going ahead, then we started building the pods. So how you can build the pod directly. So we built the pod directly using this particular command, and then we building the pods or creating the pods in, and then we even created the pod using the configuration. That is it. This is how we just said. These are the commands that we ran for that. Then we started working on the replica sets. What are the replica sets? I'm not going to be talking much about them, but they just simply manage the pods. So replica sets are creating the pods, updating the pods, deleting the pods. These are the things that are going to be happening. This is the configuration. We even talked about this, exactly how it works. And then this is how we just simply apply. This is the main command. What is the main command? This is the main command for applying this stuff. And then these are some extra ones. You can know more about that. Having said that, we have already talked about it. Lastly, we talked about deployment. Again, this is the configuration for that. And again, configuration of most of the things are kind of similar, so don't worry about it. Once you understand one, you will be able to understand other as well. And this is how you can just simply apply it, and once applied, you can just simply know more about that. And not only that, we have already talked about it inside the containers, inside the pod I'm talking about. So when the pod runs, so the pod is responsible for running the container, and inside that particular container you may have one process running, one container running, or you may have multiple ones. And that is it. This is how everything is. It's been quite a headache, and now it's done. That simply means I can move to learning something new or the other. So we have talked about quite a lot of things. Right now it's time to learn something new. After that, I'll be back and then continue from here on. Honestly, it doesn't matter how hard the topic is. If you are actually able to learn it once, and then if you have time to explain it to somebody or teach it to somebody, the topic is gonna be easy. So follow this way of learning, because since the time I have started doing this, that simply means since the time I have started going live on YouTube and explaining the things, learning has become literally easy for me. I'm not afraid of learning anything, because I know once I have learned this, I will remember this. It will always be in my mind. I'm learning the Kubernetes right now. I have the confidence that I'm never gonna forget this, because I'm explaining the things, man. So if you are actually doing this, this is the best way of learning. I knew it earlier as well, but I never tried this. I never put it in action, and because of that thing, I didn't know that how effective it could be. And similarly, you must know this, that after learning the topic, if you teach it to somebody, you will remember it all the time. But you have never tried it, so try it. It is gonna change your life. Seriously, you will not be afraid of learning anything. You will not be afraid of forgetting anything. You will not be afraid of anything. Rather, you will start enjoying the coding. So if you actually want to enjoy the coding, that whatever you are going through, or any subject that you are learning, start teaching that. Once you become the teacher, that subject is gonna be easy for you, easier than ever. By the way, that was it. I'm gonna be catching up with another topic. First of all, of course, I will have to learn, and then I'll be back and then discuss the things about them here. Until then, bye bye, take care, and see you soon. I'm gonna be catching up maybe by the evening or something. Until then, bye bye.